All right, let's talk 5 losers from the Vikings lost to the Eagles. Son of a b. Back to the Onebar and Lupagus show on Onebar with Lupagus, and Vikings lose a damn heartbreaker in Philadelphia, 28-34. We're going to talk 5 losers. Let us know in the comments your top 5 losers because we got 5.
We're talking losers, but if you want to feel like a winner, hit the subscribe button. We are over 9,700 subscribers, working our way to 9,800, on our way to 10K. Hit subscribe. It'll feel so good.
Let's start with an easy one. Let's start with KJ Osborne. Rough. I believe he either had 2 or 3 drops. I don't know what the actual stat is, but 3 for 34. I know he had the touchdown where he was wide ass open, but what the hell?
It's not even today. I mean, he also had the drops week 1. And what's going on with KJ Osborne? I mean, this is Vikings wide receiver 2, 2 rough games in a row. I really feel like Jordan Addison's going to overtake him
wide
soon.
receiver 2.
Yeah. It feels like he's wide receiver 3 now. And a guy who
he is.
We all kind of thought, I mean, both of us thought maybe he would have such a year this year that he would work himself out of the Vikings being able to afford him for next year. And I don't know, man. Just the drops today and the drops last week, it's not a good start for KJ Osborne.
Got the dropsies. They were not fantastic. And some of those were big time, but he did get that touchdown pass. But Jordan Addison is wide receiver 2. It's not even close moving forward. Let's talk with another wide receiver that is more known for his punt returning duties. Big ass. I mean, he had a beautiful return. It was looking great. And then he not only fumbled, but the Eagles got it, and it was gross.
Yeah, he had the one he coughed up there after a beautiful return, setting the Vikings up. I mean, after the Eagles were up 3-0, Vikings make a stop, force the punt. Things are looking good for the Vikings. Powell coughs it up, and then later in the game, waves for the fair catch. There's really nobody around him. Kind of a head scratcher decision on that one. When the Vikings needed some good field position, Powell waving the hand a little bit early there. So I don't know, a guy who earned a spot on the team with a good preseason looked a little bit shaky tonight.
Shaky, looked like shit. That's why he's on the loser list. And when he was doing the fair catch, I don't know if he's gun shy. He didn't want anything to do with it. But as Vikings fans, we know we've seen punt returners, Chad Beebe's, whatever in the past, just not be confident. And now that's the last thing we needed. Like, we just need somebody that we can be confident that's not going to cough up the ball when they're punt returning. And he's got a long way to go to earn that trust back.
Yeah, it was just odd when he waved for the fair catch there. No one is even – I mean, it was 20 yards before you saw a green jersey.
All right, speaking of odd, Alexander Mattison makes the list. 8 rushes, 28 yards, and a brutal fumble to start the game. He had another fumble later, but I believe it was there's some sort of penalty that negated it.
Yeah. Yeah, and, this one's tough because you move on from Delvin Cook, who is a guy who can give you an explosive play here or there, for Alexander Mattison. And I do feel like, and I think through 2 games this has been kind of proven, but this is a passing offense. Running the ball is secondary, but that doesn't mean you can't still run the ball, and you need to run the ball when you got to run the clock. You got to get first downs on the ground. It's just a vital part of the offense. And when you're coughing the ball up, Alexander Mattison, you got to secure that thing. That was brutal. That was a game changer. And it was just at a point in the game where everything was going wrong for the Vikings, and he was just another thing added to the list of shit. You're scratching your head because you cannot believe this is happening.
And the only reason he's on this list is because of the fumble. When you're running back and you only get 8 carries a game, you're not going to have time to get your mojo going. I mean, I'm not going to base this off of 8 carries behind an offensive line that has some serious issues in front of it, backups, whatever. This is strictly because of the fumble. He needs to get 15 to 20 carries a game to see what we have. We've seen him do that. He's done fantastic. He's had 100-yard games when he gets that amount of carries. But if you're getting limited carries, you got to hold on to the ball. And it's as easy as that.
Yeah, and hopefully he's okay. We saw him go off early in the game. It looked like his right shoulder, it was kind of drooping down when he went off the field. So hopefully he's okay. But yeah, Alexander Mattison, 2 games in a row. He's got about 60, 70 yards? It's not great.
Yeah, and Lupagus's face is starting to droop down the more videos we do. We're gonna end this. We got two more. Let's go. Lupagus is hard up for Brian Flores, so we'll give him the stage. Brian Flores is on the list.
I'm just saying this. Like, I mean, I loved part of this defense today. I love when there was like, they'd throw a screen pass out to the flats, and we had two guys right there right away. I like the pressure that was caused. Jalen Hurts really couldn't do much through the air.
Oh,
Jalen Hurts, we couldn't really do much with him. I mean, the Vikings defense was there, giving them pressure, but the run defense was so bad. It was so bad. It was bad early in the second quarter. DeAndre Swift getting 8-9 yards of pop. You can't let that happen. I know maybe you don't have the talent that's there to stop this from being better, but do something. Sell out to stop the run. It was an issue the entire game, and a major reason why the Vikings lost this one, other than turnovers, it was the run defense. It just wasn't there today.
no, it was brutal. They were just carving us up. 259 yards on the ground is not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. I don't know if this is going to get much better throughout the year. It's like asking Brian Flores to have Lieutenant Dan rush for 1,000 yards. It's just not possible. I know you can make adjustments. You can make adjustments all day, but if you don't have the guys that can do it, you got to make up for it in other ways. And Brian Flores, that's why you're here. Brian, you're the genius. If we can't stop the run, figure out ways to use the other guys to stop it. I still think this defense is 10 times better than it was last year, but unfortunately, it's still not good enough.
Yeah, and I like the defense, but I just think now, moving forward, every team that faces the Vikings is just going to commit to the run and make the Vikings stop it. So we'll see what happens next week against the Chargers.
Until you actually invest in your defensive line, this is what you should expect. We have no investments into our defensive line.
Well, I don't know if anybody should expect almost 300 yards every week on the ground.
I'm just like, look at our starters. I would expect this.
That's fine. Who's the last one?
Kevin O'Connell, the buck stops with the head coach, and we're 0-2. One of those Bucks at home, and now we go to Philadelphia, and just the discipline, the turnovers. Come on, penalties. Buck stops with him.
Yeah, it's weird. It's hard to. Here's the thing. I mean, do you go back to like these guys? The starters should have played in the preseason. I mean, is that part of it? Probably yes. Maybe they should have. Maybe they should have got some rust off. Some of these turnovers you can't really put on rust or not playing the preseason. Kirk Cousins gets absolutely blindsided with no idea his coming. You also look at Justin Jefferson trying to extend a play, trying to make a touchdown happen. That's an effort error on his part, but it just seems like also some of the play calls that he's making is a little bit head scratching, whether it's a screen to CJ Ham we saw last week, or even like the first series of the second half of this game I felt like was very, very poorly called by him. So I think a lot of this does fall back on the head coach.
Offensively, I have no issues. I mean, we had the ball half the time, and we had 374 yards in total offense. It's just the fact that we're 0-2. That's why I put this on Kevin O'Connell. Whether or not like we should have played him in the preseason, whatever, we'll never know. And to be honest, like I said, offensively, no issues. It's just we need to win games, and he's the guy. He's the guy who puts the players out there. He's the guy that if our left tackle goes out, he's the one who picked who's going to be the backup. So it falls on him.
It does. And yeah, he's also the one calling the plays on offense. He's also
Offense
the one.
Is fine.
I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, it was fine. But again, there's series there where you go 3-0 and you're thinking, okay, were those the best plays that could have been called? And if you're nitpicking, offense is definitely bottom of the list of what went wrong today. But the turnovers is a big issue. 7 turnovers in 2 games. That seems like kind of a weird outlier. I don't think it's normal, and I expect that number to come way back down to the median here moving forward. But through 2 games, it's head scratching, and I don't know. I don't know what is like. I mean, would have playing these guys earlier have helped? I don't know, but it makes you wonder at this point.
Let it linger. There you go. Those are our top 5 losers of the game. Let us know if you got one in the comments. Love to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, Vikings are 0-2.
Suck.
Chargers coming to town here in a week and 3 days. We'll see what happens there, but a lot of time to get things corrected. Hopefully, some guys get healthy, and hopefully, we figured a way to stop the run game. And KOC maybe gets this play calling going a little more smoothly, a little more evenly, spread this ball around. But that's
Offense is fantastic.
Vikings are 0-2. Remember this: if you're a healthy 20-year-old, you have around 2,860 weeks left before you